This is the Villa Download.
Hello, it is time for the Villa Download, where we unpack, unhinge, and unapologetically obsess over reality TV and pop culture. And I am your host, Danielle Peterson, also known as Danny Gossip Girl. And buckle up, because tonight we are diving headfirst into one of the wildest weeks of Love Island USA Season 8 yet. We are breaking down episodes 19 through 25, so week 4. That week, it gave us everything. Casa Amor completely turned the villa upside down. Loyalties were tested and are still being tested. Let's be real about that. Heads were turned. Shocking recouplings left everyone speechless. Relationships were put on life support. And then, just when we thought Islanders had survived the chaos, movie night arrives and exposes everything. So we'll be unpacking the biggest betrayals, the double standards, the friendships, the fallout, and who came out of this week looking stronger and who may have just played themselves right out of the villa. And I'm especially excited because joining me tonight is someone I have been looking forward to having on the show, someone I have been watching for quite some time myself. She is a fellow podcaster with incredible insight. She's witty, unfiltered, and she isn't afraid to challenge the popular opinion. And she's quickly becoming one of our favorite voices covering television. So trust me, you're going to love this conversation. So grab your drinks and make sure to jump into the chat. And we are going to get into it all.
This is the Villa Download. We break it down, your dose of love, violence, and beyond. From the villa to the latest shows. This is the Villa Download, where the real story always flows.
Now it is time to bring in tonight's special guest, and I'm so excited for this one. As I mentioned, she's a therapist, a best-selling author, keynote speaker, podcaster, and pop culture commentator. I mean, talk about being more than a triple threat, who brings the exact kind of perspective I love: smart, funny, thoughtful, and still fully ready to get into the mess. So Jana is the host of Pop Therapy, where mental health and pop culture collide. And she uses her therapist lens to unpack reality TV, relationships, conflict, connections, and all the chaos we love to watch. She's also the author of the best-selling books, including Plot Twist and Embracing Change. And honestly, who better to break down Casa Amor movie night, bad decisions, emotional fallout, and questionable villa behavior than someone who can give both tea and therapy? So everyone, please help me in welcoming Jana, our TV lover and the woman bringing pop therapy to the Villa Download tonight. Welcome, Jana. So happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. That was the most incredible introduction. Thank you so much.
Oh,
I am a big fan of yours. I'm loving this slick production. I feel like I'm on a TV show. There's production elements everywhere. Like, you should be so proud of yourself. This is awesome.
Thank you. I really appreciate that very much.
No problem.
We are excited to have you. And for those that are familiar or not familiar, one of the things that we love to do here at the Villa Download is our drinking game. So let's get into tonight's drinking game. So, favorite tradition, and yes, we're bringing back the fan favorite because this week was really a choice. So I am bringing back a duplicate word that we may have used recently, and maybe I should have just used the word lies or liar instead. Now I'm reevaluating, but it's too late. So if we say that too, it could be a secret, drink behind the scenes. But tonight's word is kiss. So because it's Casa Amor that we're talking about. There were kisses on David's, kisses during challenges, kisses that sparked new connections, and kisses that shattered trust, and probably a few that we're still going to find out about as movie night continues. So grab your drink, whether or not it's alcoholic, not coffee, water, whatever your choice is. We're going to get into it all. I'm sticking to sparkling water tonight, everyone. So cheers.
Love it.
Yes. Okay, so everybody, what we are going to do is it is time to get into what we are here for. Let's get into some Love Island. Okay, so it's time that we head back to the villa. So, Jana, if you don't mind familiarizing the audience, what is your background with Love Island? How long have you been watching it? And there is no wrong answer with this.
Well, as you know, this is my first season. I have never watched Love Island before. I thought I always I know what's going on because I follow everybody on socials. I know, the names and the Nicolandrias and the, papaya. I know
Maya Papaya.
Maya Papaya. I knew all of that stuff was going on. And I was just and to be truthful, really, it was when Ariana Madix jumped in, I was much, much more aware of it. Obviously, I know the UK version's been going forever, and I've had friends that have been watching it in years past, and I don't know, it was I was afraid of the commitment. I was also covering Married at First Sight here in Australia, and that is another enormous commitment, as I'm sure it is in the States too. Mm-hmm. So this is my first season, and it is safe to say there is nothing else that I'm thinking about. This has even overshadowed the West Wilson and Amanda Batula obsession.
Goodness, though.
Thank God. We all need a break from that. But this is really and I'm hearing it's not even the best season. For seasoned viewers, there are a lot of people saying to me, you know what, you need to go back and watch season 6. This is not even it. And I'm really? Because I'm so hooked in. Obsessed. It's all I'm thinking about. I'm when's the next episode? When's the next episode? Let's go.
Yes, obsessed. I'm still hooked and obsessed, even though being an OG watcher of UK, US as well. But I still appreciate this season. But I don't know, season 6 was lightning in a bottle. So that will be a good rewatch when you start going in the withdrawal when Love Island is no longer on our screens.
Yes.
But this week gave us everything we came to expect from Love Island USA and then some. Casa Amor came in like a wrecking ball. Relationships were pushed to the limits. Loyalties were questioned. Heads were turned. And just when we thought the dust was settled, movie night exposed the receipts. And probably better than they have ever exposed the receipts. So it will be good for you to watch former seasons, Jana, although they didn't do movie night last season because last season was even more of a buzz. Although maybe some people liked the personalities a little bit more. So yeah, but
interesting.
Yeah. But tonight we are going to be waiting for the text and grab our drinks and let's just get into the episode. So we're going to start off, Jana, with episode 19, which really deals with more cracks showing in Melanie and Sincere's relationship because they are in Casa Amor. And surprisingly, before they left Casa Amor, they had that big recoupling. They wrote the letters together. He apologized for what happened with Saul, even though a lot more happened and he wasn't being honest. And we'll get into that. But as soon as he gets into Casa Amor, he starts exploring his connection with gorgeous bombshell Amora. They're all gorgeous bombshells. Yeah. And then Melanie is also, really hurt as well because the girls are seeing it on the live feed. And what did you think of them being able to watch on a live feed?
Oh my God, that was heart-wrenching. Like, they know what they've signed up for. They know that there's going to be exploring and there are other things and relationships and connections. They know that. But to sit there and watch it happening live, I don't know what it's been like in previous seasons, but are these guys particularly bad? Because honestly, a couple of them in particular were like, filthy guys at a strip club. They would just like, yes, give it to me. And Corbin with his like, get to work, girl. Like he was like, they were just so the women were pieces of meat, and they were almost like throwing the fistfuls of money at them, and it was so like honestly dehumanizing as a viewer. I was like, oh, like, is this really happening? If these were my sons, I would be absolutely horrified. But then as a virgin viewer, I'm like, is this kind of what is expected? Do the boys feel like they got to put on a show as well because that's part of the thing? I mean, is it? Is this how it normally goes?
I feel like they do have to put on a little bit of a show, and they also don't want the ladies to feel like they're not performing well enough. However, there is such a thing as crossing the line, in my opinion. You can still show appreciation and hype them up without crossing the line that they cross. Previous seasons, they have gone wild and out. I just think this felt worse because we knew that the women were seeing it live, which they never had seen it before. So it was really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like as, and I'm skipping ahead, but as Anaya has said on a number of occasions now, it's not even the choices that these men were making in terms of exploring relationships further down the road in Casa. It was like the complete lack of respect, honestly, for the Casa women, and completely gone from their brains are the women that they've been establishing relationships and friendships with, like that. And they were so like dogs off the lead in the park. Like they just went crazy. And, the things that they were saying were just so unnecessary. Like you could just be like, whoa, oh my God, these women are amazing. Whoa, and like you say, hype them up. But to be saying derogatory things about the other women left behind and like, oh, who's that anymore? Oh my God, I'm in trouble. Like I'm definitely coming back with someone else. And like all the crap they were saying was like just so unnecessary. And playing devil's advocate a little bit, like most of these guys are under 25. Most of their frontal lobe has not finished developing yet. So I can give them a little bit of grace there in the sense that they are not even fully formed humans yet. So they're behaving with a pack mentality. And like for me watching it, I could see Bryce. To me, Bryce genuinely felt uncomfortable, and he felt like, oh God, he is not like a big overtly sexual guy who's getting into things in the way that a lot of the other guys have. Like the way we've seen Corbin moving, it's like, sign him up to Pornhub. Like, you could have a very successful career,
For
you know?
OnlyFans. We'll start with OnlyFans
Yeah,
first.
exactly. So, like, you know, there is like, so for me, I could feel like the discomfort, and I felt like Bryce was going along with it. But Casey, Corbin, they were eating it up. Zach was eating it up. I honestly, and look, maybe I'm an outlier here, but I don't know that Sincere was as fully into it as, like, I feel like he was going along with, he was giving some looks and stuff, but he wasn't actually saying disrespectful things and like jumping out of his skin like, yes, like, here we go. He was kind of a bit more like, you know what I mean? Like, there was a slight difference.
I would say on the level scale, he wasn't here. He wasn't at the bottom. I would say he was like somewhere like teetering at the middle. I wouldn't say he wasn't disrespectful, thank goodness, in terms of how he was describing Melanie, unless I need to rewatch that.
Yeah. No, I don't think he
But
was saying,
yeah,
yeah.
I think it just really progressed. And what made it worse is like you already overcame what you came, and then to go back and do it again. And to others' points, and Melanie has mentioned it, or the other ladies have mentioned it too. And even some of the men, the new Casa Amor men mentioned it. You can explore. There is nothing wrong with exploring. But then when you bring in the physical part of it, and when you haven't had that conversation with your partner, whomever it is, on is it okay to cross that boundary? Well, then you have to worry about what's going to happen with those actions that you carry out.
Yeah. And you could argue that, you know, giving somebody like the girlfriend experience is actually way more distressing than, you know, going to a strip club one night, you know?
For sure.
And so, like, maybe it wouldn't have been as bad if he just got into the performance and then he was stepping back and being like, you know what, like, I was going along with the fun of the entry and all of the, you know, performance and the challenge aspect of it. But I'm thinking about Melanie and she wouldn't like this. And I'm happy to get to know you. I'm open to getting to know people, but like, I'm not really gonna, but like, it's almost like there's this people pleaser in him. Cause like, and again, look, I don't know if it is some internalized misogyny that I'm just like needing to work with, because there are some questionable men on Bravo that I also like undyingly support. So my sort of vibe with Sincere is his behavior is terrible. Like, don't get me wrong. He's telling everybody what he thinks they want to hear. I don't believe that he thinks 90% of the things that he's saying. I feel like his feelings are most strong with Melanie. I believe him more with Melanie. And then I feel like he's a little boy kind of going along with things in the other situations, and he doesn't know how to put in a boundary. And he's like, well, you know, going along with it. Like, I didn't buy fully that he was into Soul towards the end of that tryst, those days. I could see Soul growing and growing her feelings for him. And to me, his responses to her didn't feel as rich and deep as they sort of did with Melanie.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Amora, it just felt like she came in, like, she knew who he was because she's been watching the show.
Yes.
She wanted him regardless of what she'd seen. And she was almost, and I feel the same with TT a little bit, that they knew exactly what the boys wanted and they were kind of just jumping straight in, almost in that parasocial relationship way that we do. You know, if we, like, I met Sonia Morgan at an event a week or two ago, and I feel like, you know, we know each other, like, we go way back, but like, I'm a literal stranger to her, but I'm picking up the relationship from the last time I saw her, which was today on Instagram, you know? So it's almost like they were jumping in already not strangers, but
For
the
sure.
boys were meeting strangers and behaving like they knew them. And so I don't know. All this is to say, I guess, I think the moves were bad with Sincere, and I don't think he should have been doing the promise. I mean, the one line for me that was the absolute worst, and maybe I'm getting ahead of things here, but when he didn't pick Amora, and then he whispers to her, "If we'd had more time, it would have been you."
Yes.
Why say that?
I know,
It's like, I don't want to hurt your
seriously.
feelings, so I'm just going to like say something that's so lovely and nice, but actually so effed, because it's just, you're just hurting people. You're hurting both those women with a comment
I
like that.
agree. I agree. I'm hoping though that he is going to be one of those people on TV. We don't see them often, similar to house husbands on The Real Housewives. When they watch themselves on TV, they don't necessarily self-reflect and do better. I'm hoping that Sincere will really self-reflect,
Yeah.
especially after the conversation that his mama is going to be having with him when he gets home, because I
100%.
know that she will be speaking to him
Yes.
that, it is okay to want to be that good guy, but your words still have meaning. Your
Yeah.
words can still put falsities and all sorts of ideas
Yeah.
in someone's head. I mean, I know how I felt in my early 20s,
Totally.
thinking that the situation was one way when it was like probably the total opposite of
Yes.
it. So,
Yes, absolutely. And like, I remember saying to my younger brother when we were in our 20s and, early 30s, he was like having a good time. And I was like, do you know what? You can do anything you want. You can be with anyone, all of those things, as long as you are honest and upfront about what you're doing. So the
yeah.
woman has a choice to participate in just some casual fun or
Mhm.
not. You cannot tell people it's one thing and then it be completely something else, which is, so I feel like Sincere has so much growing to do in
Yeah.
that space. And I feel like Corbin and Casey, they feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like a lot of growth is going to come there. They feel like a
No.
certain type of guy.
Yeah, I feel like they are wired a certain way to be that certain type of guy. And I don't know
Yeah.
if, like, they're wired mentally a certain way.
Yeah.
Sincere's mind is open. His heart is open. Like, I do think I'm not going to say he wants to be sincere because that word has been overused. I do think
Yeah.
he wants to be genuine, but he needs to know how to not be fake
Yeah.
genuine. And those other
Yeah.
guys, I mean, they're hopeless. So going into KC, not only did he go from Anaya to Amora, but then he also hopped in beds with Sydney as well, which, like, I didn't see that coming. And then he
Yeah.
kicked her to the curb in an open way.
Yeah.
I feel like he was kind of upfront and honest with both of the girls, which I respect it. It's just some of those under the breath or with the boy comments
Yes.
that he makes, which is just beyond. It's like, it's that locker room talk, which,
Yes.
we're not men. I'm not in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping that didn't happen as much, but I'm not familiar, but
Yeah, you know what it felt like? It was like he was feeling like he wanted to be that guy in the villa. He wanted to be like one of the boys and like exploring and
now they know
being
my
like
power.
the man. Yes, exactly. And I think that very first scene where there was nobody at his door rocked his ego so intensely that he did just kind of land up with Anaya, and maybe there was some part of him that was like, well, none of these women chose me. Nobody's actually that into me. And that insecurity became enormous in him. And at the same time, as the days and the weeks went on, think he liked Anaya. You know, he said beautiful, beautiful things to her. I mean, who calls somebody the blueprint? Like he said beautiful things that could stay with you for life, you know? And I think in the moment he meant those things, but like as a gift to her, not necessarily as like, I think these things about you. You're a beautiful Black woman. You are like my mother and my sister, and you are the blueprint. You are the type that I would go for. And at the same time, he's got like one eye on all the other guys going like, damn, I also want to like F around and like make out with people. And so the minute he got out of there, he was like, yeah. Like, you know, the guy at the strip club on the bachelor party who's like finally off the leash, you know? And he went buck wild. And I feel like that's what he wanted. That's really what he wanted. And I think TT is great for him. She is more kind of like sexually forward, which is clearly the kind of thing that he was missing from his relationship with Anaya, who's just like such a lovely person, and he needed a little bit more.
Yeah, they don't match each other's freak.
Yes, I think that's it. Yeah.
So to say. And I think what happens a lot, and I think especially this season, because a lot of them coupled up so much, and I think I spoke about this last week when I was talking to Mo, is it's that situation of, you know, if you are a Catholic schoolgirl, your parents are going to keep you home. You don't get to explore a lot. You don't get to sneak those drinks or go to those parties here and there and have those experiences. So then you feel so bottled up that you go buck wild. I felt like it was a little bit of that in Casa Amor with the guys, because I do think that they wanted to explore a little bit while in the villa, but felt way more locked down and like all eyes are on me as compared to previous seasons. With that in mind, Jana, and thinking back to KC, do you think he had the right to explore? And if so, should he have just handled it better? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I definitely think with the limited knowledge that I have of Love Island and the format and the kind of like gameplay, I do think he had every right to explore. But like the girls did, you can explore respectfully. You don't need to tear somebody else down to lift somebody else up. And it was like all of this nastiness was coming out of his mouth, almost like to justify his behavior. You know, it's like grandma and like all the kind of, you know, mean things he was saying. He didn't need to say that. All he had to say was, you know what, Anaya's such a beautiful girl. She's got a beautiful heart. I've really loved connecting with her, but I'm not sure that she's like end game for me, and I'm keen to kind of meet some other people and test the relationship and all the language they use. He could have said stuff like that and we would have all been like, yeah, okay, fair enough. You know, like he could have been like the girls were all being completely respectful and saying, you know, I do have this other relationship and I'm not sure, and I'm not necessarily going to kiss you, but I'm interested in getting to know you. And he like there was so many
and Melanie and even Anaya for a moment.
Yeah. So I do feel like there were just so many better ways he could have gone about it. But I feel honestly like he just wanted to get the hell away from this kind of lockdown feeling that he had with Anaya and just be free and show the world like he's this you know, wanted sexy guy, which I think he wasn't necessarily feeling in the villa because of how it all started for him.
Yeah. Which is again the reason why I think he's just wired a certain way, because I don't blame anyone for that bothering them a little bit. That would be abnormal for it not to bother you.
Yes.
But I think for it to rock him as much as it did, and I felt like he was a little revengeful because of it. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But because of that, I just feel like he's just wired a certain way.
Yeah.
But Yeah. Anyways, we get into episode 20, and that starts off with not only did the girls see, the live feed, but both parties get a postcard, a pretty big postcard of
Yeah.
pictures exposing all of the happenings that have been going on in each other's respective villas. And of course,
Yeah.
there's a lot of kissing. It says, wish you were here. You see
Yes.
sincere kissing and biting on the lip. Melanie breaks down. Of course, Kata gets really upset as well. So, what were your thoughts on the postcard concept, which is a standard in the show? So, what did you think about it in the mental aspect behind it all?
Oh my God. I was just so stressed for Bryce. I could just see this kid moping and just like my heart was exploding for him. Like, oh my God, like get him back to, we need a producer to just like whisper it to him, like, it's going to be okay. Don't worry.
Yeah.
She also feels the same way. So I was really so upset that they showed a picture of her kissing the other guy. Corey, was it? Because
yes, it was Corey.
Because, yes, she did. And it was a moment away from a challenge, but then she was just so quick to be respectful and withdrawing herself because all she wanted was Bryce. And then seeing her crying about Bryce, like I just so desperately wanted both of them to know that they were both feeling the same way. So that I was so focused on that. I was like, no, Bryce, don't.
Yes.
Oh,
I know. My heart sunk in that moment. And then I also put my foot in the mouth because I previously said, and it's so crazy how your opinions can change from week to week. But I used to say I don't really think that he was into her. But no, it's very apparent that he was into her. But I'm really happy that she did try to explore once, but very quickly, and then realized like her heart was into it. And I also loved, not that I can speak on because I haven't been in her shoes, how she opened up about the struggles of, this is her first time as a Black woman dating a white man, and the concern of, if she's going to be picked, and both parties being concerned of, are they going to choose somebody who they have been more accustomed to dating? So I really appreciated that. And if there is a Beyond the Villa again season 3, I'm hoping that that's something that they would dive deeper into. That's something really good to look into, Jana, if you do watch previous seasons, is the Beyond the Villa show, because it kind of gets into the psychological aspect of what happens during the show, but also how are they dealing with everything afterwards. And there's a lot of that fourth wall breaking. I think you would really like it, but watch season 6 first.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to retire from everything else that I do because this is like taking up my entire life at the moment. Not that I'm complaining because I absolutely love it. But yeah, okay, that sounds right up my alley. So would they follow a couple like Trinity and Bryce and like see their lives afterwards?
So what they will typically do is they will file the first season of it. So season 6, they kind of got all of the cast together in LA, which felt a little forced.
Okay.
The second season, you were able to see them more so in their own environment, but still at collective gatherings, either in smaller gatherings as fractions or in larger groups. So that was a much better happy medium.
Okay. So a little bit like, Love is Blind when we go back to see them with their families and then as at a get together and
Yeah. That's a really good comparison.
Okay. Oh, okay. I've got a question for you format wise. Can I?
Please.
Is there a chance that they could still bring in bombshells at this point, or are we like getting Like, is this like now we're going to wrap things up and clean up messes and then that'll be the end?
No, there probably will be at least another male and female bombshell.
Okay.
I think we should expect at least one more
Okay.
after Casa. But then after that, I don't think that there would be any more
Okay.
beyond that. That's a good question.
Okay. Because I was like, okay, so is it now movie night and we're going to see all of the, drama, and then we're going to see all the kind of attempts to repair or the ending of things, and then do we vote? I mean, Americans, do you guys vote who wins? Is that how it works?
Yeah, the viewers will vote who ultimately wins, what couple
Okay.
wins. But beyond that, it's going to be hard to say what the formula is going to be because
Yeah.
the US has been switching it up so much this
Okay.
season.
Okay.
Now,
I mean,
Jana,
surely there's. Sorry, go ahead.
no,
I was just
thinking,
going to say,
go ahead.
surely there's only one winner. I mean,
Yes.
like, is it not Trinity and Bryce? Like,
Oh,
have we
yeah.
not all just collectively fallen in love with them, and we've seen them go through heartbreak in a really like beautiful way and come back together. And Trinity is dominating in the villa and standing up for people in
Oh,
such an
yes.
impressive way. Like, that is a girl's girl, and she holds people accountable, and she's also super sweet and cute and funny. And like, Bryce, I just feel like is now the puppy dog, just like with heart eyes, just looking at her like she's the most perfect thing in the world. And
Yes.
who else could win? I don't believe anyone
No, I
else is
agree. And to your point, when I was on your show a couple weeks back, Bryce needs more confidence.
Yes.
Like, I don't know.
Totally.
He is always doubting himself, and he's even verbally made comments
Yeah.
confirming that as
Yeah.
well. It is such a shame. But no, I'm rooting for them. There is no other couple.
Yeah.
One sleeper could be is the public is trying to, and this happened before last year with Nick and Alondria. They're trying to say it's not Corbin. Who is the bombshell guy that came in that
Caleb?
was Caleb? That Caleb might be interested in Melanie. Have you seen those
Oh, I did
TikToks go
see.
through?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
that would be fun to see if like that was if that was to happen, I could see them as like second or third runner up, and then
Yes.
I don't know, maybe yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
It'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see, but yeah, I can't see anyone surpassing Trinity and Bryce, and I'm grateful for their happening because prior to them,
Yes.
there was no couple I was rooting for, which
No.
sucks this far in the game. There's at least
Yeah.
a couple couples you want to be rooting for, but I just wasn't
Yes.
feeling it.
No, I want to root for Melanie and Sincere, but like I think he's messed it up. I think when she sees what he was like with Amora as well, like exactly the same behavior. And she already knew all of that with Soul. Like, she knew that stuff was happening. They were not a couple, they were coupled with other people. She was giving him space. She knew stuff was going down with Soul. And she is now about to see that he goes into full boyfriend mode again with Amora and whispers that one last line to her, like, if we'd had more time, it would have been you. That, I think that's like the final nail in the coffin. How do you come back from that?
I agree. And in knowing that, do you feel like the girls explored enough? Should they have done more? What do you think?
Well, I guess it's like it depends on what the definition of like doing more is. Like, do we expect people to be making out? Like, I feel like they were open to things. They were spending time with their couple. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know. I think Kenzie, and we'll probably get into Kenzie, but like she's given everything a red hot go, you know,
Oh,
and
and then some, yes.
and then
Yes.
some. And so, you know, I think she was really like doing it the way the boys were doing it, but not disrespecting anybody in terms of the way she was speaking about people.
Agreed.
Just, you know, just like really putting herself first and continues to do that. And I think maybe she's genuinely confused and will be quite shocked when she kind of finds out that the audience is feeling a bit weird about that.
Yeah.
Um, so, like, I feel like she was doing it. I think Anaya actually did give it a go, but
Mhm.
we could all feel the heartache for Casey. Like, it's all she was kind of like going back to. Every conversation with the girls, they were like, Trinity was like, come on, like, we saw what he was doing. Like, you do your
Yeah.
thing, girl. Like, let's move on. But she couldn't let go of it. I think she'd really fallen for him quite a bit. So like she was giving it a go, and Carl on so many levels is such a great, perfect fit for her. But I don't feel like she fully let herself go. And I mean, how it's very hard to do that when you've got feelings for somebody else and you're, you know, hopeful and you've been told things.
Yeah, that you're the blueprint. You're being
Yeah.
told all the things, the nicest things you've ever heard. A man
Yeah.
who's not your father
Yeah.
telling you,
Yeah.
which is a dream. And it's something you see out of a movie if you still watch rom-coms. They don't really make
Yeah.
them that much anymore. Thank goodness for the
So
past. You
yes.
know, and so you're gonna cling on that when that happens for the first time. And it's
Yeah.
probably like one of those first relationships where it does end bad, and you're like, and your friends are like, no, don't go back. But damn it,
Yes.
you go back one more time just to get your heart broke, and then you totally
Yes.
have it out of your system.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know, she is somebody like you can just see though, like the pain and the hurt that was written all over her face. Like in every challenge that came up in the following episodes when they all came
Yeah.
back, like it was just so painful to watch. And I mean, you know, the hysterical crying was so heart-wrenching, and then like her face just didn't look the same, and it has not looked the same since. Like she's wearing her pain all over her face, and the betrayal of it all so clearly, even though I truly think she has moved on in terms of like he's done to, like she's
Oh,
done with
yes.
him, but the hurt remains like very close under the surface, and that's for me really painful to watch.
Yeah, just that disrespect.
Yeah.
Now, we get to the point where finally the recouplings do happen. So, Melanie sticks with Sincere.
Mhm.
Trinity and Bryce, are together. Zach and Kata stay together.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, do you think he would have stayed with her if the one
Hmm.
didn't get booted out for her actions?
I do think he would have stayed with her
Okay.
because I think he actually like he knows, you know, she's a 10 out of 10,
Mhm.
and I don't think he could do better than her in real life, you know, and I think he
Yeah.
knows that. But I feel like the more I'm watching Zach, the more I feel like he is playing the game, and he watched his brother play the game, and he's probably a super fan of the show, of all the versions. And
Yeah, and he's friends with a lot of them too.
yeah, and he's like trying to do the thing. He's always messy. He's like making comments to other couples. He's trying to bring other people down. He's trying to point things out to people.
Yeah.
Um, I don't like how he was moving with Alana. I think he was having fun for sure. I think he was enjoying it, but I don't think she was better than better than Kada in his mind. So I think he wanted his cake and eat it too, you know? And then he probably knew that she was going to be waiting for him, and he'd look like a hero because he came back for her.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
I'm so off Zach. I'm so off him.
Yeah, and I've been off of him for a while. I mean, he's starting to surpass Corbin because at least with Corbin, we know what we get. We just need to figure out if he's an AI robot or if he's real or
Yes.
not. But we still know what we will get with
Yeah.
Corbin.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Zach is a little bit of a wild card. Now, did any of the recouplings or the overall couplings when the two villas reunited, did any of them surprise you?
Yeah, I was a bit well, not surprised, but I was sad for Jen that she picked Gal because, as a viewer and potentially it's the edit and what we're seeing, but what we know went down later kind of
Mhm.
verifies what I'm about to say, which was that, like, I didn't think he was really ever that into Jen, and he was there with his eyes on Kenzie, and if she had any sense of strategy, she shouldn't have brought him back because
Yeah.
she brought him back for Kenzie without meaning to. And, the other guy, was his name Connor or
Oh, I don't know. He was so cute, though. The one that she
so
didn't bring
cute.
back, who was
He was
showing
almost
interest in
like,
him.
yeah, he was
Woo!
almost like Sean 2.0. He looked a bit like Sean to me. And he seemed like a nice guy.
Yes,
And, that would have been a smarter move, I think.
I
And
agree.
maybe she would have had a chance with him. Like, I just feel like she's, it was a silly. So I was a bit. She's like, oh, and I've really got a crush on this guy, and I'm like, oh,
I
I don't
feel
think it
bad.
goes both ways.
I'm
Yeah,
worried. I feel like she's gonna be one of the islanders that psychologically has the most to deal with
yeah,
afterwards. I feel like she's taken so many blows to her
yeah,
confidence while she's been in the villa when she is just such a package. Like,
yeah.
I mean, wow. But I feel like it's a lot to deal with her. But Gall's family is not happy with him.
No.
I don't know if you've seen what they've been doing on
Yes.
social, the memes that
Yes.
they're posting. They're not happy. And then the coffee shop is giving out free drinks to anyone named
Yes.
John and stressing that, hey, this shop is managed fully by women. Please do
Yes.
not hold our owner's actions against
Yes.
us.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
good.
Yes,
So
very
good.
good. I would
Yeah.
totally go there now.
Same.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. But in terms of the other recoupling, like of course, Melanie and Sincere were going to come back together. Casey, we knew. I mean, that was just so heartbreaking. Waiting for her, like looking at her with her hopeful little eyes, and like the crushing devastation of seeing him walk in with somebody else. And
Yeah.
we all, and I know we have the privilege of like seeing what's going on, but even just basing it off what they saw, was that not enough for her to go, no, I'm gonna, and all the girls and all the guys are telling her, like, pick Carl, he's amazing. And then to stand there and be crushed and humiliated like that. So, and
Oh,
such a like an isolating thing, even though the girls backed her up, like she's standing up there by herself, and in he comes, can't even look at her, like Mr. Tough Guy, hand in hand with TT. Ooh, that one was really, really tough.
and also
Really tough.
Carl's reaction as
Yes.
well, like how much he cared for her. So speaking of which,
Oh,
if that pulled at your hearts, like today's episode pulls at your heart, make sure to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. But how did you feel in that moment? Like, Yana, I thought he was going to be like, yo, production, stop.
yeah.
Like, please let me console my
Yes.
girl or bring her home with me.
Yes.
I was just so
Same.
surprised. It was like out of a movie where like he runs through the rain and goes to the
Yes.
airport. Like it felt like it was gonna be like
Yes.
that.
Yes. I felt
Ugh.
exactly the same way. And I feel like every fiber of Carl's being was like holding himself back from running towards her and scooping her up and just like protecting her and taking her away from all of this nastiness, like, oh,
Yeah.
it would to see him with the tears in his eyes, and it wasn't even for himself. Like you saw his heart breaking for her. Like,
Yeah.
what a guy, honestly. What an amazing guy.
I agree.
Amazing.
So, some of the new bombshells, they get sent home, but America gets told that, hey, you get to bring a male and a female home. So
Yeah.
who would you have brought back?
I mean, for the drama, obviously you had to bring back Amora, but I actually really would have loved to see Sydney come back in. I thought she really was cool.
Mhm.
She said things like it was. I think she would have caused a bit of, chaos in the house. Like, I think she would have probably wanted to explore some people and not been afraid to kind of like approach people and have conversations. And I feel like we didn't get enough time with her. Like, I really would have liked to. She didn't, couple up really in Casa, and I think she could have brought a lot to the group dynamic. And but Amora, obviously we need her there because Melanie needs to see the truth about which.
Yes.
Having said that, though, like, she would have seen that on movie night anyway. So yeah, I don't know. It could have gone either way for me. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wanted Carl to come back. I would have just liked to have brought back two of the guys.
Yes.
No offense to the ladies. I don't know. None of them really stood out enough
Yeah.
for me. And maybe because I just felt like they came in like too hot, two guns ablazing. Like, I'm not here to make friends at all, which is not the right approach to take. And it kind of like turns off viewers. But
Yeah.
I agree with who America picked.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree with it. So that was a fun surprise. So skipping ahead, where we deal with the aftermath, Casey and Anaya, we deal with that understandable aftermath that we will still continue to deal with, but we get surprised when Meg the Stallion comes for the Hot Girl Bakery Challenge, and she did join last year for a challenge too. So she is a huge Love Island fan. So this is her second year doing it. So she gets all up into it, as we can tell. And man, I wish I could. Can you shake like that?
No. And believe me, I actually tried. After watching that show, I actually like got down and tried to like flap my ass around. I can't do it. How do we do it?
It's so hard. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's a total skill. It's incredible.
Yes. So kudos to those that have that talent.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. But we get surprised at the end of it. I mean, I really didn't enjoy that challenge that much, although some truths and how people really feel about some of the Islanders came out. But at the end, we got surprised with the two big cakes, and that America did bring back Carl, who has the body of a god, and Amora, who has the body of a goddess as well. She looks like she came out of the sea as like, a mermaid or something.
Totally.
So that was a nice surprise. I was really excited for that, and then seeing Anaya's reaction to that as well.
Yes. Oh, just such relief. But like, you can see like she is a sensitive person, and I just sort of felt maybe a flash for her of like, it was the best thing ever, but also the sort of wave of guilt that like, he's back and I cast him aside for this horror show, and now like, is he even going to want to talk to me? Is he even going to want to pick this up again? And thankfully he did.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was clear to see that she had feelings for him. But at the same time, she is loyal and wants to see through her commitments. And I don't feel like it was in a gaming sort of way. I
Yeah.
just think that she's her person. She's that type of person where she would always have regrets for not seeing it all the way through, even though
Yeah.
in her head and in her heart, she probably knows that like Carl is like, oh, for
Yeah.
her. But again, Casey is the first one to tell her some of those things. So it's hard.
Yes.
But she's done. She's over with it. And then she had that really hot makeout session
Yes.
in the
Oh my
last episode. I was
God.
like, wow, where did this Anaya come from?
Yes.
She ain't no grandma. No, no, no,
No.
no, no. Take
Totally.
that,
Well, she
Casey.
had some making up to do after, you know, sending Carl out, as much as we understand the reasons why. You know, she was like, thank God he's back and let's have our moment. I always
Yeah.
think though, with all of these hypersexual like challenges and the behavior that we're seeing, like I know we've talked about this before, but like all I think about is like, don't these people have parents and employers and like real neighbors and people that know them? Like, like how on earth are they doing the things that they're doing on TV? Is it like a Gen Z thing that it's just like you live your life in public now and we're so like
A
sex
little bit.
positive? Yeah.
It is a little bit of that. I will say one of my favorite TikToks to watch is when Islanders come back to their work and they start playing catch up of their work emails. There
Oh
was
my
this
God.
guy last year, I can't think of his name, he had the best curly hair.
Yeah.
And he went to work and he was reading through all of his emails or his instant messages from his coworkers being like, I didn't know that you were going to be on this show, or the HR lady sending him a message and stuff.
Oh my
It's so
God.
funny. But
I
yeah,
mean,
they have a lot to
yeah.
account for. And I think that's part of the reason why some at first, like Anaya, wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
And some won't do more on camera beyond like a heavy makeout. You're not going to see Melanie doing a lot more on camera because she knows that her family is going to have some sort of ways, or even who's the Persian kitten?
Oh, Parmita.
Parmita. I was seeing in comments a lot of, right, she's no, Persian.
Persian, yeah.
A lot of people of her culture is like, the aunties are not going to be inviting her to anything. Like, she's
Yeah.
not going to be invited to the
Yeah.
family events because of how she was acting on TV. And they're like, oh honey, we live from around from around where she's at. She hasn't been invited to the family things for quite some
Wow.
time because of
Oh, really?
her
Yeah.
behavior. So I do think I don't know how Kenzie is going to,
Yeah.
because she has done a lot. Kate has
Yeah.
probably done the most out of everyone, but at least it's been with one
Yes.
person. So you can
Yes.
give her that. And still no shade for even Kenzie for exploring, but you have to be mindful when you're doing it on TV. I do kind of feel
Yeah.
bad for some of her friends
Yeah.
that are in the crossfire for it. But
Yeah. You know, like I think Jen made a really interesting comment to her in last night's episode, which was, if this was real life, I would not be your friend. And I think that really hit home, really powerful. And for the first time, I think Kenzie was taken out of the game and back into real life. And it was like the ultimate mirror up to her behavior. And movie night began. I don't think we heard one word from Kenzie, because I think she's just sitting there going, oh shit. Are they just
tomorrow's episode's going to reveal more about it.
Yeah, like are they going to do a montage of like every guy and every heavy makeout? Like, it's been a lot. Like, she's really explored.
It has been, and I mean, she has been semi-truthful, I feel like, to all
Yeah.
parties, but she's telling half truths. I don't feel like
Yeah.
she's purposely lying. She's just
Yeah.
telling half truths. And
Yeah.
then for the other half, she's not telling. She's taking too long to play catch up, but telling
Yeah.
the truth, which is then causing the problems. But I do have to commend her. Out of all of the girls, she's I'm not gonna say she's playing the game, but she's getting the most out of the experience
Yeah. I
and
mean,
what
isn't
Love Island should be.
well, that's right. Like, isn't that what this is? It's about exploring different attractions and connections and chemistry. Like, it, from what I've been reading online, it sounds like this year has been unusual in how closed off people have been,
Yeah.
even though they're saying they're open. It's been like couple central. Even Sol said that in her farewell speech. This is like
Mhm.
Love Island, not Couple Island. And it's definitely felt like it would be really hard for people to come in. The only way to really try to get yourself in with one of these men has been in Casa,
Yeah,
away from the girls. So Kenzie's kind of been doing what the premise of the show is about, right?
I agree. Very much
Yeah.
agree. So who do you
Yeah.
think is the right man for her?
Oh, look, I feel like it's oh my God, now I'm going blank on the lovely guy that she's with now. What's his name?
Is it like
Dylan.
Dylan? Okay, I was gonna say
Dylan.
Robert or something. Dylan. No, it's
Yeah.
Dylan.
Like, I thought he had a really like painful reaction to hearing what went down with Garl. And if anything, I think Kenzie should have got onto that like the first or second day that Garl was there, because it's like, if you really just want to like make out with this guy and see if you've got a vibe, don't wait 3 days in when you're having these beautiful conversations with Dylan and essentially kind of giving him the sense that you're feeling the same way and there's a future for you guys and your perfect date and like seeing each other, like making it work outside the villa. Like, you can't then go and make out with some other guy. But if she'd done it early on when he first came in, he wasn't locked in necessarily with Jen, she wasn't fully locked in with Dylan, I think that could have been more okay. But
Yeah.
I feel like that was such a wake-up call. Like, she got slapped in the face by Jen and Dylan and Kater and Zach's reaction and everyone kind of talking now like, what is she doing? Is this attention seeking? Is this? But I don't think it is. I just think she genuinely was just like caught up in the excitement of the game. I think she is a sexual person and she likes to have a little, we call it a pash, have a little kiss,
Yeah.
here and there. And I just think she lost sight of what was maybe really going on and how quickly Dylan was really feeling like his point was, if things are great, why would you need to explore,
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I could see them being a great couple, but does she need a little bit more of a bad boy? Is that what's missing for her?
I don't know. We shall see. But another girl who went really hard, who we didn't really talk about, is what are your thoughts on TT?
Look, when she first came in, I think she was going really hard at
Mhm.
Casa. And that was that like, girl, like, are you just putting this on? Like, you know what this guy wants. You've got your eyes on him. In your mind, he is your man and you're going to do anything you can to get him. And I didn't necessarily like that just like on a personal level. Like, I would hate someone going after my man like that.
Yeah.
Um, Not that we know that he wasn't Anaya's man necessarily, but at that point, like, he kind of was. And
Mhm.
then I didn't like how she was kind of like standing up to the girls. She didn't come in graciously. But I think that's turned around and I actually now quite like her. And I think, You know what? I think she's actually like a cool chick. I think obviously she's beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, I think she's done a few nice things, like reassuring Kada that there was, nothing much going on with Alana. And, I think she was just feeling like she was in a tough spot in the beginning, and maybe she made a mistake the way she came back into the villa. But it looks like the girls have moved on from it pretty quickly. And it's like, hey, it's not about you, it's about
Yeah.
him,
I
you know?
agree because at times I think she wants to be there for her man, but she can't ultimately be a girl's girl when
No.
she gets to know the girl. But if I don't know you yet, you're not my girl to be a
Yeah.
girl's girl too. So she is growing on me. I do feel bad because people are trying to dig up stuff in her
Mm.
past, like restraining orders,
Oh, I didn't see that.
that she's been on, maybe a couple of other dating shows that really didn't
Oh,
go far, which is fine. It is what it is. I
yeah.
appreciate what she's been bringing to
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think she's a good fit for Casey. Like,
Yeah.
good luck to them. They're not gonna win, but good
No,
luck to them.
no, they're not gonna win at
No.
all. But
No.
as we wrap up this week, Iana, we start to touch on movie night. So, what were your initial thoughts with the
Oh,
experience the first half of movie night?
wow. That was just so painful. And I thought it was really interesting. I thought maybe we'd get like one scene, but they gave us like a
A
narrative and a
lot.
storyline. Like it wasn't just like this is
It
one
is
makeout.
normally.
Oh,
It's not
really?
normally. I feel like normally, okay, so normally it's not like pick a door. It's normally pick this movie title so you know like what the scene is
Okay.
about. And it is typically focused on one scene, not like a whole long compilation of
Yes.
scenes, but I mean, damn, the man gave them so much evidence that
So much.
they could make a
Yep.
legit movie after one of their wrongdoings.
Yeah, totally. And you know what was interesting to me? We knew Casey had been a dick. Like we heard
Yeah.
everything he said. So like we were ready. We knew that was gonna just annihilate Anaya. We knew
Mhm.
that. And all the guys were like, oh, that's bad, and that's bad, that's bad. So the boys were like agreeing that it was bad. But then what was interesting to me is when they were playing Sincere's stuff, that every single one of them, and I don't think it was to like get away from their own behavior. I think they were genuinely reacting, going like, oh my God, like
Because he said
that's
that
bad.
behind closed doors. Like they
Yes.
weren't it I think yes, Casey shouldn't have said that, but Casey was being honest to his boys about how he felt.
Yeah.
Sincere was playing everyone. So it's
Yeah.
like, who can even trust Sincere
Yeah.
at this point where it's like, no, you are like, and you're telling these women like you're using the exact same
Oh,
wording for all of
yeah.
these women. Like, that's diabolical.
Yeah. And it's just the first half. We're going to see the whole rest of it
I
with Amora,
know.
and it's exactly the same. I think one of the conversations his mum is going to have with him is about like, you can't treat people like this. You might think you're saying the right thing to make people, but like, we got to work on people pleasing, and we got to work on your identity. Like, he
Yeah.
needs to really be clear about who he is, who he's presenting himself to the world as, and what kind of guy he really wants to be. I don't think he actually wants to be a player. I
No,
mean,
I don't think so.
Corbin, we know he goes to all the strip clubs. We know
Mhm.
he would like toss girls around like whatever,
Yeah.
whereas I feel like Sincere actually wants to be a boyfriend and to be a good guy. And he's just really immature and doesn't know how to do that necessarily. And he's got a lot of work to do there. I don't know if it's with Melanie, but I think, in 5 years, he could be an amazing partner to somebody.
Yeah, I could see
But
that.
I think we've got a little way to go.
I agree. And I think it's probably his first time where he's been able to F around and be in that environment. But
Yeah.
we shall see what happens. But all right, though, we have made it through Casa Amor Chaos, the recouplings, movie night, well, part of movie night. But before
Yeah.
we wrap things up, it is time for one of my favorite parts of the show, especially when I have guests on. And I'm putting tonight's guest in the hot seat for a little Love Island lightning round. So the
Okay.
rules are simple. No overthinking, no long explanations, no playing it safe. So I'm looking at first instincts, hot takes, whatever it is that comes to your mind. So are you
Okay.
ready for your toughest challenge yet?
This is my toughest challenge because I do overthink and over-explain everything. So I will try my best. Okay.
Challenge accepted. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 1, who is your MVP of the season so far?
I think it's Trinity.
Okay. Who
Yeah.
is playing the smartest game in the villa?
The smartest game in the villa. Who is playing the smartest game? I would have said KC prior to Casa, probably.
Yeah.
But hard to say right now because I think people that were playing, and I know I'm over-explaining, but people that were playing smart games are falling on their asses
Agreed.
now.
Totally. Yeah. Good point. Okay. Who is the biggest green flag?
I think Bryce and
Oh, yes.
Caleb.
Okay, yes. Oh,
Yeah.
I want something good for Caleb so badly.
Yes.
Who is the biggest red flag? Oh, this is a hard one.
I look, I think it's Corbin, but
Okay.
I think Casey's a close second. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I think Sincere is number 3.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
could see that. Today I just saw in FMK, F Mary Kill between the 3 of them. I'm like,
Oh God.
oh, that's a doozy to pick from, but
It
yeah,
is.
because they're just all naturally grouped together.
Yes.
What is one Islander you would bring back?
I would bring back Sean.
Yes.
Or Beatrice. I thought she was amazing
Okay.
too. Those two, I
Yeah.
think it was a crime that they got sent home so early.
Yeah, 2 of the biggest and
Yeah.
most favorite of personalities were gone early on, which
Yeah.
I felt like did the season a disservice
I
too. And Bea
agree.
brought such a humor to the show, which has been severely missing.
Yes,
she has
completely
left.
agree. Yep. And she was exploring, like she was open, she was, confident and like stood her ground on things. I loved what she said about like if he moves on, he's not for me. And I just loved that. Like I loved that because I never could be like that back in my single days.
And that's a good lesson for young females to hear from another female, especially when nowadays you don't have that teen culture like we had when we were growing up. But
so
speaking
true.
of teen culture and emotions, who is the most emotionally mature Islander, Jana?
Emotionally mature or immature?
Mature.
Emotionally mature. I would say probably Anaya, honestly. Like I know she had a big meltdown, but I think she's really considered in the things. Look, she was reacting to Casey, but I think he was giving her reasons to because things would come out in the challenges that made her question. She's got a lot of integrity and loyalty, as you said before, and that pushed things for her. But I think she handled things quite gracefully until, she completely lost it. in the recent days, rightfully so. But I think overall, as like if you're looking at somebody's EQ, I think she's probably the most mature minded of them all.
Okay. I could see that.
What do you have a different take?
No, I agree. I could totally see that. I'm also really just proud at seeing Melanie's growth.
True.
I'll be more proud though when she actually chooses herself.
Yes.
So that's when I will be the most proud. Definitely not
Yeah.
any of the men at this
No.
moment, though.
No.
Lastly, finish this sentence in one word. This season is
Well, for me as a newbie, electric.
yay.
Loving it. Yeah.
Good. I do.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It's a good season. I think people just got really spoiled when they joined in season 6 with it was just such a lightning in a bottle of a season.
Yeah.
It's like watching the Scandival season of Vanderpump Rules. Not every season was like that. Not every season is meant to be like that. There needs to be a happy medium, and the audience can't ruin it either.
Yes. I'm a little bit concerned that I am like a Scandival Bravo viewer with Love Island, in that I am such an OG Bravo watcher. I've watched everything that has ever existed from the dawn of time, and most reality that ever existed on VH1 and MTV and TLC and everywhere, right? And I have come into this so late. I'm really worried that I'm the Vanderpump newbies that have come to Bravo because of Scandival,
Oh, yeah. No, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I just feel like sometimes the Bravo audience, and I say this as, being up there in the Bravo fandom, can ruin it.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Not everything needs to be analyzed, and not everyone needs to be canceled over every little single thing because they're not your ideal character on TV. That's all that I am saying. And we tend to analyze and post, and I don't know, I think some accounts are posting for clickbait. Speaking of which, Jana, I need to apologize for the clickbait reel that I ended up having you post because I got fooled thinking that Ariana lived in the hideaway.
In the hideaway.
Because that is what another Islander had said, and she commented in the comments on the TikTok being like, "Why are you revealing my secrets and stuff?" So I totally bought into it, but now I don't know if it's true or not. So not trying to be clickbaity, but anyways, going back to the original point, I just think some content creators will find these little heated moments and just like add gas to the fire.
Yeah.
Because the clickbait. And that's unfortunate, and that can take away from the show.
Totally. And I think there's more grace, at least it feels like, because I'm all over Reddit and I'm doing all the things with all the shows. Yeah, I know. It's like my brain is rotting from the inside out. But, there seems to be a little bit more grace for Love Islanders because we see them go through a journey, and old viewers or like OG viewers would understand that people can grow and the relationships can shift and change, and we can have different opinions of them from one week to another. Whereas, in the Bravo world, sometimes when someone's a villain or you don't like someone, like the pitchforks are out and the opinion never gets changed.
Yeah.
And, I've seen that in my comment section about certain people, and I certainly feel that way about, I've said this so many times, but like Tamra from OC, I think that one's, justified. However, I feel like there is more, I don't know, the audience, the Love Island audience seems to be more willing to go along on the ride. And
agreed.
feel things out differently. So I'm really enjoying the audience space
Good.
as a newbie here.
Very good.
Yeah.
Speaking of audience space all, for those that are into Love Island, make sure to head to my Instagram, either Danny Gossip Girl or the Villa Download, because I am doing a giveaway where you will get a personalized Love Island phone cover with either your name or it says, I got a text.
Nice.
So happy to pull you for a chat today. So thank you for answering my text, Jana.
Love
You
it.
also get you'll get a drinking cup, either personalized cup or a Love Island themed cup as well. Wrong post, but there is a lot of other stuff that you can get. So check out my Instagram on how you can do it. There's a coloring book and more different ways to win. When you do all the different things, you'll get a different raffle ticket, and I will be entering it into this online spinny wheel during the next live. So check it out.
Exciting.
Participate.
Question.
Yeah.
Can international people enter as well?
Yes, they can. Of course they
Yeah?
can. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll figure out a way. If something can be sent international and they end up winning, I'll figure out something else that I can send to them that will make up for it.
Okay. I'm very tempted to enter.
Oh, yes, please. I want to win myself. Like last year, I got everything. I'm like, I want it for myself. But no.
No.
Yes,
I understand.
It is for the people. So,
Yeah.
yes.
Love it.
But I really appreciate your time so much. If you don't mind letting all the people know, where can they follow you?
Well, thank you, first of all. This has been such a blast. I am so excited to have been here with you and to unpack all of this with you. You can find me on Instagram at jana.firestone. That's JANA.firestone. The podcast is Pop Therapy. You can watch full interviews. I interview Bravo celebrities and Bravo adjacent content creators, largely from the US and Canada. And you can find that on YouTube at the Pop Therapy Podcast. Or you can find me at my website, janafirestone.com. But would love to keep the conversation going. So do come and find me.
Yeah, give it a watch. It's one of my regular watches. And of course, I love when you and the Bravo investigator gets together, who is one of my favorite deep divers. And she was one of the nominees for last year's Villa Award. So
amazing.
A check out. But yes. And is there anything that they should be on the lookout for that you have coming up at all?
Nothing out of the ordinary. I do get Bravo peeps. So if there are Bravo watchers here, I have got a couple of interviews coming up, which I maybe can't say just yet, but like Bravo people. And if you want to go back and look at any of the interviews, I've interviewed people like Reza Jackson from the Valley
one.
Persian style, Captain Jason from Below Deck Down Under, Chef Zarina, Hannah Ferrier, Joe Bradley from Below Deck Med.
This season is so good.
It is good, isn't it?
I have all sorts of feelings. I'm feeling for Joe Bradley. Yes. I'm feeling for him this season.
Yes. And, look, he is a friend of mine in real life. We speak quite a lot, and I have some little, tips from him from time to time. And I think this season is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So keep watching that one, everybody. It's a good season.
It is really good. My stomach was hurting at one point.
Yes.
Being stressed out for him, but that is a whole other
it's a whole other conversation.
Yes. Okay, but guys, if you have made it this far, you are officially Villa downloaded. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share this episode, because the reality TV chaos never stops. And of course, you can follow me at Danny Gossip Girl on all social media, or the Villa Download on YouTube and Instagram. as well. And you're going to want to make sure that you subscribe because you never want to miss out. And check out that Love Island epic giveaway. And of course, this episode will be available wherever you listen to podcasts as well. So leave a 5-star review wherever you listen. And I will be back next week with more hot takes covering Love Island, which is getting ready to wrap up within the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be so sad.
Same.
Don't know what I'm going to do. But
No.
guys, this wraps up another episode of the Villa Download, your go-to spot for all things pop culture, reality TV, Bravo, Love Island, and every messy moment in between. So stay Villa Downloaded, everyone. Take care, and thank you so much for your time, Jana.
Thank you for having me. I've loved every second.
Thank you. Bye, all.
Bye.